In America, most people go through this education path. 12 years of public school and 4 years of college. Maybe a master's, that's 16 years plus 1 to 2 years, making 17 to 18 years. If you add a PhD, it's 16 years plus 4 to 7 years, so 20 to 23 years. Sounds pretty stable, right? Finish school, grab a diploma, get a good job, and life's set, doesn't it? But reality is brutal. Data from 2023 shows 60% of life science doctorate graduates are either unemployed or stuck in low-paying postdoc jobs. An employed PhD can be seen everywhere. A lot of people think finishing college or graduate school means you're smart. The higher the degree, the better. But a 2025 tech industry report says many companies prefer self-taught programmers over degree holders. Why? Schools teach theory, the real world wants hands-on skills. So, our goal isn't just to get a high degree but also to become smarter, meaning we can solve real problems, communicate effectively, and have the technical or soft skills the market demands. To put it bluntly, make more money. But how to become smarter? Some say eating blueberries or drinking black coffee makes your brain sharper. Sounds scientific, but research shows they just perk you up. There's little proof they boost intelligence long-term. Others think doing IQ tests makes you smart. Sure, practice boosts your score, but life isn't a test. A 2023 study found high IQ folks aren't always good at real decisions. Some even mess up from overconfidence. YouTube's full of Get Smart in 10 minutes videos, and podcast experts sound amazing. But after a year of listening, you memorize theories yet can't make an Excel sheet. That's not learning, that's self-hype. Next, let's talk about what actually works. The first step to getting smarter is learning, and the simplest way is reading. Bill Gates reads 50 books a year, history, tech, you name it. Warren Buffett spends 5 hours a day on newspapers and books. Even Elon Musk, the rocket guy, credits books like The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for sparking his big ideas. See, when the world's top minds are all obsessed with this one thing, don't you think it's kind of a big deal? Why does reading make you smarter? Simple, it's brain food. Studies show novels boost your vocabulary and empathy. Take a book like 1984, you learn big words like dystopia and feel the weight of a dictator's world, leveling up your expression and understanding. A 2013 experiment found people who read literary novels ace social tests. They read emotions better than non-readers. That's a sign of smarts, right? Say you read a detective novel, you might forget the killer, but you get used to guessing plots and spotting clues. In real life, when problems hit, your brain kicks in to analyze instead of blanking out. That's reading's secret perk. Bill Gates reads 50 books a year and says it turned him from a coder into a CEO who predicts the future. Some say, my memory sucks, I forget what I read. No worries, research shows even if you forget details, reading trains your brain to think and connect ideas. A 2021 study found that regular readers build stronger neural pathways, improving problem-solving over time, even if they can't recite the books word for word. It's like lifting weights. You don't remember every rep or how much you benched last Tuesday, but your muscles still grow, so reading isn't about turning you into a trivia champ. It's about training your brain to be flexible and sharp. So how do you start? Don't overcomplicate it. Pick a book you actually find fun, not something you force yourself to read just to look smart. If you go for stuff you should read to impress people, you'll probably quit in a week. Start with what you like. Got 15 minutes before bed, skip scrolling X and flip through a few pages instead. A 2024 survey found that people who swapped 20 minutes of social media for reading felt less stressed and sharper in just a week. Ease into it, maybe a mystery novel or a biography of someone you look up to. J.K. Rowling before Harry Potter, read tons of myths and kids' tales, blending them into a billion-dollar idea. But getting smarter doesn't stop at reading. There's a crucial step that takes it to the peak: practice. Why? Reading gives you the raw materials, ideas, frameworks, inspiration. But practice turns them into skills you can actually use. It's like cooking. You can study recipes all day, but you won't master fried eggs until you've stir-fried a few pans yourself. A 2015 University of Chicago study found that students who paired hands-on experiments, like feeling angular momentum with a bicycle wheel, with science concepts scored about 7% higher on tests than those who just observed. Hands-on practice activates your brain's sensory and motor areas, making knowledge stick. Read a negotiation book, hit a flea market, and haggle a $80 lamp down to $50. Read Python Crash Course, code a guess the number game. Read a gardening book, plant some herbs, and adjust watering until you've got fresh basil. Sorry, this is it. Read a woodworking guide, build a wobbly shelf, and fix it till it holds books steady. Read a drawing book, sketch a wonky face, and refine it till it looks human. You don't need to be good right away, screwing up is the point. Mess up a cake, you learn oven quirks, botch a sketch, you figure out shading. It's like leveling up in a game, each fail gets you closer to the boss fight. So reading and practice go hand in hand. They team up to max out your brain's potential. Neuroscience tells us your brain isn't some clunky single-chip gadget. It's a distributed network, like a city with specialized crews. The prefrontal cortex calls the shots on decisions, the temporal lobe hoards memories, the parietal lobe handles spatial vibes, the occipital lobe decodes visuals, the cerebellum keeps you smooth, and the motor cortex runs your moves. In the reading process, the occipital lobe's primary visual cortex first spots the black squiggles on the page and ships them off for processing. For folks who often read complex texts, the prefrontal cortex's wiring gets denser, sharpening planning, reasoning, and your that's nonsense radar. Reading revs up the temporal lobe's hippocampus, turning your memory into a steel vault. And when reading hits spatial cognition or graphic orientation like maps or geometry, the parietal lobe steps in, sorting out directions and shapes. In the practice process, the cerebellum handles coordination and habit building, like making your fingers slicker at typing code, while the motor cortex takes charge of action execution, nailing every keystroke or hammer swing. But in reality, the brain doesn't work in such absolutes. They're all jamming together in sync. Finally, on the road to smarts, you've got to learn this. Real intelligence isn't how much you know, it's knowing how much you don't know. Socrates said, "I only know that I know nothing." Sounds weird, but it's about staying curious. Smart folks can easily fall into a trap: arrogance. No matter how smart you get, don't rush to prove you're better. Learn to improve yourself, not to step on others, or your smarts become a burden. Studies show humble people are more liked in teams. They share, others listen, and they learn more from the chat. Say someone asks, AI, artificial intelligence, is just robots, right? If you snap, you don't even know that, so clueless. Your smarts get you nowhere but trouble. So, next time, skip showing off, stay low-key, and you'll gain more. Alright, that's it for today. Getting smart doesn't rely on degrees or blueberries. It's about reading, doing, and a dash of humility. Say you start now, read half an hour a day, then mess around with some hands-on practice. A month later, you'll notice you're not the same, more problems solved, sharper you. Feel free to leave the knowledge you'd like to learn about in the comments section, and see you next time.